Well, hello. Welcome to the Glenn Beck program. Tonight, you can forget about the spending freeze. Quite honestly, it is meaningless. And when you see what this president has done, it's going to boggle your mind. In a few hours, the president's going to spend a lot of time talking about, I'm going to be fiscally responsible. And you're going to listen to a lot of people going, absolutely, yeah. And they're applauding. And I'm going to save you all the trouble. You want to freeze something? Try this one. A Snickers bar, maybe a margarita as a recovering alcoholic. Looking at the news, I could use a drink. Until this administration is actually ready to take a serious look at our debt, the only thing worth freezing is a leftover Carvel ice cream cake. Which, wait a minute, no, I mean, actually, that kind of sounds good right now. I mean, really, doesn't it? Come on, let's go. Hello, America. Tonight, our Commander-in-Chief will stand before you with a completely straight face and kick off a campaign on fiscal discipline. I have to tell you, I had a really hard time buying that from the last president. I just don't think I can do it from this one. This is the guy who increased the federal deficit to $1.35 trillion. That is higher as a share of the economy than any other year since World War II. He's also the guy who's just recommended that we raise the debt ceiling by another $2 trillion. The guy who approved a $787 billion spending orgy that resulted in millions of wasted, well, at least I think that we didn't need the turtle tunnel in Florida, the reptile road safety thing. But that's just me. This guy has now decided that things are getting a little crazy. I'm fixing it. So he's now proposing a spending freeze. A spending freeze. Wow, it sounds like a good idea on the surface, but where have I heard that spending freeze thing before?
The problem with a spending freeze is you're using a hatchet where you need a scalpel. It means that, yes, we may have to cut some spending, although I disagree with Senator McCain about an across-the-board freeze.
I think that we do have a disagreement about across-the-board spending freeze. It sounds good. It's proposed periodically. It doesn't happen. And, in fact, an across-the-board spending freeze is a hatchet, and we do need a scalpel.
We need a scalpel, something very, very small. I hate when that happens, you know, when you got audio tape of somebody saying, I'm against that. So the spending freeze that he was for before he was against it sounds very dramatic, but is it? Well, it's for the 2011 budget, and it's going to freeze spending at the current levels for 3 years. You're going to love this. You're going to love this. The spending freeze for 3 years, but it only applies to 17... Okay, these don't work. This is why your teacher never used these. Okay, and you were so efficient, Aaron. You put another one in. Okay, so it only applies to 17% of the budget. 17%. Plus, the president just increased the frozen areas by about anywhere between 12.5% to 20% just last year. Okay, so he increased it last year. Got it? So it's not really a freeze. Here's the magical savings from the freeze. $250 billion over the next 10 years. But it only lasts for 3 years, so nobody in our brain room or even nobody can figure this one out, but I'm sure we can trust them in Washington. It almost sounds too good to be true, but then again, I know who you are. I mean, according to Joe Klein from Time magazine, you're just stupid. But let's get out the Progressives calculator and see how this breaks down. The federal budget for the next 10 years comes to a projected total of, you ready? It's written up here 47. It's $42.8 trillion. To write that out, Tiffany, 42, check my math here. How many zeros do I need?
I think 13. 12 zeros.
From here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
11 from there.
10, 11. Okay, well, all right, so it's, you get the point. It's a lot of zeros, man. Out of this, we saved $250 billion. Really. That works out to 0.58%. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'll take the $250 billion, but this isn't exactly some kind of savings that screams, I'm going to lead the State of the Union. This is groundbreaking. 0.58%. Now, let me explain this a couple of ways. 0.58%. What does that really mean? Well, you're going to have to use your imagination on this. Let's just say that I needed to go on a diet, okay? And I came to you and said, America, I'm going to make you a promise. I'm going to go on a diet, okay? Let's pretend you care, like my wife, because she is so grossed out by me right now. So she says, what are you eating? Honey, right now I eat 4 Twinkies a day, okay? But I'm going to go on a diet. But what I haven't told my wife is I've increased my Twinkie intake to 8 per day just before I said this. But then I say to her, I'm freezing this, okay? I'm going to freeze this. She says, okay, so you're only going to have 8 Twinkies a day? No. I mean, this is only 17% of what I eat. I also get as much pie as I want, and I get some cheesecake here, okay? And then I get these M&Ms, all right? Do you think I'm going to get thinner, America? Do you think I'm on a diet because I've frozen the Twinkies? I don't think so. Would you take the fat man seriously if he looked at you after you, no, this is a diet I'm going to be on. It is. I'm on a diet. And I mean it. I'm going to lose so much weight. I'm taking this seriously because I know you take it seriously. I don't like Twinkies. I think they're made mostly out of plastic. Anyway, let me explain it another way. Sorry to the Twinkie people. I only eat health food. So this freeze would be, to put it another way, the same as you. Let's say, well, let's use the average American. The average family makes $50,000 a year. But you've had too much fun with a credit card. And you've racked up, with your credit card, $300,000 just this year. Not all the other stuff that you owe. Just this year, you've racked up $300,000 with your credit card. Collectors want their money. So you go to them. Now see if you would think this is even possible. You go to them with this solution. I got good news for you guys. I do. I have good news. You've stopped spending? No. But I've put a freeze on my spending. 17% of my budget, I am just not, okay, I increased it last year. You know, that $300,000, that was crazy. Not going to spend a dime more than $300,000 next year. And over the next 10 years, I'd like to present this to you as a lump sum of, you know, a good faith payment. Okay? I got $290.